Now, David Beckham has been named the latest ambassador of the King's Foundation, the monarch's new charity.
Yes, David Beckham and the King, or Chaz and Dave.
Oh, give over. Is that what the papers have... You didn't come out with this?
No, I didn't. It's one of the papers, I think. It might even be the Express, I think. Chaz and Dave, yeah. Well, they met in private last month and they swapped beekeeping tips. They found that they were both very keen on bees and honey.
What do you call beekeepers? There's a term, isn't there? Beekeepers.
It's...
Yeah, I can't find it now.
It's...
Honey farm. Apiarists.
Apiarists, that's it, yeah.
There you go, it's worth the wait.
They're both interested in apiary,
yes,
apparently.
Sherlock Holmes was as well. Well, I mean,
there you are.
He wasn't real, obviously. There you go.
Thank you for making that
apparently, David became an apiarist during lockdown, and he's since posted videos of himself working on his hives. Sounds painful. And in May last year, he presented the monarch with a jar of his own honey. And
it all went down very well, apparently, which means that Charles has now made David the ambassador for the King's Foundation.
It's not what David wanted to be made by the King.
No, I know, but they're bonding. They're bonding. Joining us now is the former Royal Correspondent for The Sun, Charles Ray. Hello there, Charles.
Good morning.
I must say, the meeting has resulted in a fantastic picture.
Fabulous picture, and there are other pictures of David actually meeting some of the young people who benefit from the King's Foundation. I mean, you mentioned Chaz and Dave a little more. I prefer the other two, which was Becks signs for Palace, and also he's become the bee's knees.
Of course,
very good.
Yes. Actually, the King's Foundation, is that the charity that was previously the Prince's Trust?
No, the Prince's Trust is still there. It's the King's Foundation moves up a league because Prince William still has the Prince's Foundation. So the King's Foundation has always been there. It was always called something else, but it's now the King's Foundation.
Right. This is quite interesting, though, and then I hate to bring it all up, but obviously the Beckhams were quite close to Prince Harry. Yeah. And so it becomes a little bit interesting in that sense, doesn't it?
Well, it does. I mean, let's not forget that Harry and particularly Meghan accused Victoria of doing something that she shouldn't have done, whatever. Beckham denied it. Obviously, Beckham came to the defence of his wife. So that relationship, has gone, out of the window. But, I mean, Beckham's got a fabulous relationship with the King, and he has certainly got a fabulous relationship with William and Catherine. So, losing one royal is not going to be a problem for the Beckhams.
A lot of people scratch their heads over this and can't figure out why David Beckham hasn't already been knighted. But clearly this is a sort of step closer to that, is it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he has made no secret of the fact that he hopes one day to be Sir David Beckham, and rightly so in my view. I think he's a fabulous guy. I think he was a fantastic footballer. I mean, whenever you see him on a chat show, and he did that Netflix program with him and his family. It's a fabulous program. Showed the behind the scenes and everything else. And if you remember that lovely little scene where Victoria was talking about her school days, and he came out the corner and says, "Yeah, tell him about the Rolls Royce you were driven to school in." I think they're a really nice family, and I hope that Beckham gets his knighthood. Now, the first chance of him getting a knighthood could be as early as next week, because we're going to have the birthday honours list coming out. Maybe not. Maybe we'll have to wait for the New Year's honours list. But I think Beckham will eventually get that well-deserved knighthood.
Well, I suppose if he was on the birthday honours list, he'd know about it by now.
Yeah, but he wouldn't. He's
not going to tell you or me.
No, he wouldn't tell us. No, but I agree with you though. I think it would be a good thing to do. I think he's a great ambassador for this country, and actually a good boost for the King's Foundation. Actually, to get some high-profile names on board like this it's very good for promoting that work.
He is the first ambassador of the King's kingship, if you like. So there's going to be others in the pipeline, but he's the first one appointed by the King for this since he became King.
Yeah, and he's got that star quality that will... he actually gets the job done, we know that already, but he's got the star quality that just makes the King's Foundation seem more relevant to young people.
Yes, I think if you've got David Beckham on board, you know, your organisation, then, you know, you're well ahead of the game. I mean, because I can't believe anybody doesn't like David Beckham. He is just, as Stephen said, that he's just such a fabulous ambassador, not just for the King's Foundation, but for this country as a whole.
Yeah. Well, we agree. We'll be cheering him on when that knighthood arrives. Charles, great to see you. Thank you very much
And you,
indeed.
take care.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd love to see him with a knighthood.
I think he deserves it.
I think loads of sports people get these fancy honours when I don't know why. But for him, it's like, come on.
He's done so much for the country, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, not just in football, but of course, there's no doubt that he worked so hard with Prince William to get us the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
And delivered it, and that was wonderful.
And he's had the longevity of it all.
Yeah.
Which is, I have met him. And
well,
yeah, I have met
him.
it. It was a long time ago now, but I was really impressed with just how down to earth he was. I mean, he just seemed really. It was David Beckham, and he did just seem really normal. But I only spent about 30 seconds with him, you know. But you get a sense.
Yeah.
And I was impressed. I just thought he seemed like a really nice bloke.
But that's because I think both he and Victoria come from nice families.
Yeah.
You know, they just do. It's I used to do a radio programme in the morning, and his dad used to ring up regularly.
Did he?
Yeah. If David was... It wasn't just about David being in the news, though. Anything he used to ring up. It was just charming and lovely. Like I said, you don't like to use the word ordinary, but you know what I mean. Just a nice, ordinary family.
Oh, I don't think there's nothing wrong with being ordinary.
No,
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Good on him. Oh, well, Sir David.
I hope...
One day.
I hope he gets the knighthood.
It's nice
as soon as possible.
And it's actually, if you haven't seen the picture, I know we've been showing it on screen, but if you're on the radio and things, have a look, because it's just a really nice picture of the King and David, just smiling, having a bit of a giggle.
In front of the front door, apparently, of Highgrove.
Oh, is that where it is?
Yeah.
But it's a very relaxed picture. It's not posed. It's just...
No.
David's got all his tattoos out. The King doesn't seem to mind. Oh, they're just nice. I like it.
Yeah.